everyone. My name is Tiffany Shlain, and it's great to be here with you today. And I am going to share with you something that I have found to be the greatest strategy to let your kindness shine, to be more empathetic, more grounded. So basically, around 11 years ago, just give a little background, I founded the Webby Awards, very into technology, and always was one of the first to try anything. And of course, got the iPhone early, and my husband and I quickly got addicted like everyone. And I felt like I was never present anywhere. I was just distracted all the time. This was 11 years ago. And during that period, I had this very dramatic period in my life where I lost my father to brain cancer and my daughter was born within days. And it was really felt like life was grabbing me by the shoulders and saying, focus on what matters. And I should tell you that I'm Jewish. I'm not religious. I had occasionally done Shabbats, which is a day of rest. But maybe that was just like a dinner and lighting candles. But I had never done a full day of rest each week, which is what the Sabbath or Shabbat is called, or what it means. But around that time that my father passed away and my daughter was born, my husband and I took part in this day that was called the National Day of Unplugging. And we turned off all screens from Friday night to Saturday night. And it was such an immediate oasis of calm and presence and gratitude. It felt so good. And we never stopped doing it. We started calling it our technology Shabbats. And, our daughters now are age 17 and age 11. And it's been the single greatest thing I've ever done in my life. And I eventually wrote a book that came out last year. It comes out in paperback October 20th, and it's called 24/6. And it really goes into the philosophy behind a day off, the ideas around gratitude that come into my life from turning the screens off, a lot of neuroscience, and my own personal story, and a guide to bring this into your own life. And I think I love the theme of focusing on kindness because it feels like gratitude and empathy, the more you focus on it, the more you will become. The more you do acts of kindness, the more kind you will become, and the ripple effects go so far. And I know this with my tech Shabbats because in many ways, this day off of the screen, so I can describe it for a second, like Friday nights, incredibly social. We always have people over for a Shabbat dinner, now outside because of the pandemic. So it's really lively, wonderful, soulful conversation because there's no screens out. My favorite dinner conversation of the week, I laugh the most, it's the deepest, we're all very connected. I sleep the best on Friday night. And then Saturday is a very inward day. I usually get up before the girls and I do a lot of journaling and I write about things I'm grateful for, but also like beautiful moments that happen throughout the week or things that made me laugh. But the beautiful moments are always centered around something kind that someone did to me or I did to someone, or, a beautiful moment, which is really kindness. And I spend time writing it out, which helps me look at it and focus about it and think about it and makes me want to do more the next week. So it's like this self-fulfilling thing. So I spend this whole day and then my husband comes downstairs, our daughters come down, we do art projects, we go out in nature, we hang, we do nothing, we read in a focused way because I don't read very well during the week. I'm so distracted still. But I think I remember I heard this great meditation teacher and someone asked her, what do you think 40 years of meditating has done to you? And she said, I think it's made me kinder. And I really thought about that. She was like in her 70s. And I think if someone asked me like, what have your tech Shabbats, how have they changed you? And I think I would say I've become more patient, and I was incredibly impatient. I still am, but I was more impatient when I was younger. I think it's made me kinder. I think it's made me more present and more intentional. And I think you really get to think about how you act. And we're so responsive all the time and reactive. And the internet has designed these tools to make us addicted and makes us feel like we need to respond. And we always need to check the news and check our email and check notifications. And it's this very reactive cycle where we don't really get time to think about what we're doing or what we want to do. And really having a day off each week, I feel like it gives me the space to think about my responses to things or my actions. And I really recommend bringing this practice. The pandemic has made us have to be on screens so much more. and for work and school and social and everything. And that I know all of my friends are feeling burnt out, especially with the election. There's just so much stress right now that whatever practices you can do that brings some peace and joy and kindness and gratitude in your life, bring them on in. So this practice that we call Tech Shabbat, but obviously based on this 3,000-year-old practice of Shabbat and the Sabbath, is available to everyone. And actually, one of the most exciting things about writing the book and releasing it in hardcover last year, and that it's going to come out in paperback October 20th and reach a whole new audience, is that I'm taking this idea that mostly only really religious people do. If you're like an Orthodox Jew, or you take a full day, you don't do anything. And in Christianity, they have very extreme forms of the Sabbath. But really, most people that do a full day off are very observant. And that's beautiful. But there's a whole lot of us that aren't observant religious people that need this practice. So here's my invitation to all of you. You can get the book. I really walk you through how to do it, why to do it, all the science behind the why. And you can just start it next week. I really always recommend that people pick 4 weeks in a row to do it. So it's like the beauty of this Tech Shabbat is that you do it every week and it's something to look forward to every week. A day to be kind, to be calmer, to be more intentional, and to be more inward. And you get the social on Friday night. So I love that you're having this whole gathering about kindness that'll ripple out so far into the world. My film studio is called Let It Ripple. Like any idea that ripples positive into the world is a good thing. I've made a lot of films on all of these subjects. You can find out more about my work at TiffanyShlain.com. There's no C in my last name, just Shlain. You can find out about the book and our films. And we have a new election film that's just a nonpartisan election film about voting that's just about to come out. And I just encourage you to try to make space to turn off the screens. I promise you it'll all be there when you go back online. So here's to kindness, here's to gratitude, here's to presence, and thank you.